Hello and welcome to Elite Weather Forecasting. My name is Mr. G. I'm your meteorologist today, and welcome to the end of August. And it's Wednesday, August the 31st, 2022. And we're going to be talking about the forecast for the remainder of the day and taking you into September 1st and September 2nd. So we're going to be looking at your Thursday and Friday. How you guys doing today? I hope you guys are all having a great day out there and everything and life is treating y'all well. But I'm gonna treat you well with this weather forecast today, and we're starting to see it dry out across a major portion of the nation. About 3/4 of the nation will not see rain today, with the exception of the state of Texas, Florida, and a portion of the Central Plains could see some showers and storms today. Could be a little bit of severe weather in that region. We'll talk about all of that today's forecast as well as the flooding down across the state of Texas that's possible. And we're going to take a look at the tropics and your severe weather potential coming up for the next couple of days. So let's move on with this weather forecast and talk about our city of the day. And that is going to be the lovely city of Bend, Oregon, to our neighbors out there on the West Coast and in the Pacific Northwest. You are looking at a current temperature of 73 degrees with an expected high of 90 today after this morning's low of 56 degrees this morning. You're going to see a high of 92 and 95 on Friday respectively. So very warm weather is going to continue across the Pacific Northwest. And Bend is a small city on the Deschutes River in the state of Oregon. West are the lakes and the peaks of the Cascade Mountains with ski resorts and multi-use trails. And in town, a trail leads up to Pilot Butte, an extinct volcano. South is the High Desert Museum that showcases the local environment with history and live wildlife exhibits. So it's kind of like a little zoo there. And in the Newberry National Volcanic Monument, stairs lead into the Lava River Cave and a huge lava tube. Pretty exciting stuff to see out there. So you are in the Oregon, in the Bend area, go and pay a visit to some of their attractions. It's also the home of Oregon State University as well. So a little bit of educational facts there about the city of Oregon. And I hope you guys have a great day and that warm weather treats you fine. And as we take a look at our weather today, let's talk about that national radar. Now, we are looking at that area of rainfall down here across the state of Texas. We are dealing with this heavy rain across the state of Texas, and it is going to be leading to that flooding. And then we have some more rain here through portions of Colorado and Nebraska as well. And that could be our potential for some severe weather this afternoon. So we could be dealing with some high winds and heavy rain in that region. And we have a little bit of rain that's left here in the state of Maine, but that is now pulling away, and that should be leaving your area fairly soon here. And we have a few showers here through North Florida as well as near the Tampa, St. Petersburg area, just to the north, Tampa, St. Petersburg here. But we have a shower there as well. So some showers in and along the Gulf Coast right now, and then a few showers over here through portions of Washington in the Pacific Northwest. And even with those few showers, it is still going to be hot in the Pacific Northwest today. And here we are with our watches and hazards. We have our heavy rain down here across southwestern Texas, so we have a flash flood watch in place for that area. And there is our heat advisory through California, and we have our heat warning in this region, and our excessive heat advisory through portions of Idaho, Nevada, southwestern Oregon, and eastern and central Washington, and an excessive heat warning through portions of southern Washington and northern Oregon, right here along the Columbia River. And then we have a heat advisory in place in the Seattle area as well. So that is a look at our watches and hazards this afternoon. And let's go with our tropical outlook. Now the tropics are starting to get busy, so we got three areas to worry about here in the Atlantic. We have this guy here, and then this other guy here, and then this guy here. And we're going to go into detail about these three features in the Atlantic, as well as take a look at the Pacific. And in the Pacific, we have this guy. And as you can see, they all have 50 to about 60% chances of further development. So conditions are getting very active in the tropics and very favorable for further development. So here we are with Invest 91L. It is currently located 15.2 degrees north, 50.5 degrees west, with maximum sustained winds of 30 knots and a minimum central pressure of 1,008 millibars. So it's about even there, 1,000 millibars just about, and it's going to continue to develop. As you can see how boiling it is, that's that convection, that's indicative of that convection. So it's definitely showing signs of further development. As you can see here, you see that low level moisture or inflow that's coming in from the northeast there. So you see that inflow, and you see that it has a nice circular pattern to it. You can see it has a little bit of shear that's shearing down toward the southwest, but it's starting to build in together nicely. As you can see, it has developing a nice outflow as well. So we're going to continue to see development with this storm system right here. And I would suspect that by tomorrow that we could be looking at a possible tropical depression with this guy right here. And here's the path that it's going to take. It's currently at that 1,007 millibars, and in about 48 hours, it's going to drop 1 millibar to 1,006 millibars. This is the GFS projected path this is going to take, and it is currently located just to the west, to the east of the Lesser Antilles in the southeastern Caribbean islands. There's Puerto Rico right there, and you're looking at the Antilles. And there's this guy going between the north. 72 millibars is going to weaken a little bit to 1,008. And then in 96 hours, it's going to be down to 1,005. But in 144 hours, it'll be at 995 millibars. Most likely a tropical depression at that point in about 144 hours from now. So it has quite a few days to go before it develops into a tropical depression. But in the meantime, if it holds together, and this is the path it's projected to take, at least according to the GFS at this moment, and in about 192 hours, it's going to be 979 millibars, either a Category 1 hurricane or a very strong tropical depression at that point. So in about 192 hours, we're going to be seeing that as a named tropical system for 97L according to the GFS. All right, so here is 93L, and it is currently located at 37.5 degrees north and 6 degrees west. Maximum sustained wind at 25 knots. No information on any gusts right now. Maximum central pressure is 1,016 millibars, so it's not very deep right now, and those winds extend out from 50 nautical miles from the center of circulation. That 25 knot wind is where is the there's no radius of circulation. As you can see, it's kind of shoveled, and you're seeing that shearing taking place, so it's having a hard time holding itself together. But let's take a look at the track and the direction it's going to go, and it doesn't know exactly where it's going to go. So right now we are looking at it at 1,016 millibars. Here's where it currently sits, sitting in the middle of the Atlantic right now, and it is kind of out there just wandering around. It's going to head off probably to the northeast. This system is not going to affect any land masses, nor is it going to develop into a tropical system. It is a tropical system, but not going to be an organized tropical system, not a tropical depression or tropical storm, nor hurricane. I doubt this is going to materialize, but it's going to continue to meander out here, and in 24 hours, it's going to lower its central pressure to 1,014 millibars, and then to 1,004 millibars. But it will intensify, but I don't think it's gonna hold together long enough to reach a tropical storm. It might clip tropical depression. I'd give it that, possibly a tropical depression, as it's going to move very, very slowly. There is a front to the north of it and a mid-latitude area of low pressure nearby, so it's getting swept up in that flow and then around the northwestern sector of the Bermuda High. So it's being pushed to the northeast of circulating the Bermuda High. So it's not going to affect the U.S. in any way. It could affect Great Britain or the coast of northwestern Africa over time, or the North Atlantic as it moves on out, but it won't do so as a hurricane or organized tropical system. It may spend a brief period of time as a tropical depression. Now here we are with 92E. Now this guy is in the Pacific side. So it is currently located 15 degrees north, 106 degrees west, maximum sustained winds at 20 knots. So it's not very windy associated with this system, and no information on gusts at this time. The minimum central pressure is 1,007 millibars, so it's not terribly strong, and the radius of the winds is 90 nautical miles. So it's actually a pretty gusty guy. It's a pretty hefty guy. It has that potential. You can see it has a nice circular pattern going on here. You see that inflow. You see how it has that nice rotation to it at the surface. So it looks like it's going to really get its act together here. And let's take a look at the track. Here we are at 1,010 millibars right now, and in 48 hours, 998 millibars. So it's going to intensify pretty rapidly here over the next couple of days, and it will be most likely a tropical depression, and then in 96 hours it's going to be at 995 millibars, and it could be a minimum tropical storm, not a hurricane. I don't want to get like some people on here talking crazy, but we're going to be looking at the potential at a strong tropical storm or minimal Category 1 hurricane in about 96 hours. So that is 24, 48, 72 in about 4 days. So it's going to slowly make its way. And look how close it is to Baja, California there. So it's going to be moving very close to Baja. Might spread some rain down here in La Paz, Mexico. So it could spread some rain along the coast of Baja, as it's going to be moving very, very close to that region. And then it's going to make a left turn and head toward the west in about 120 hours, where the central pressure is going to increase again to 1,001 millibars. So that means it's going to start to weaken as it moves out to the west and possibly interact with some wind shear, and that's going to be at about that 168 hour time frame, where it's going to drop to 1,005 millibars. So we're going to see it eventually drop back to where it is right now as far as strength is concerned. So it could spend a brief amount of time as a tropical depression as well, or maybe a tropical storm briefly there. So that is a look at that guy in our tropics. So the tropics are starting to get a little bit active right now, but they're not quite, it's not quite robust enough that we're seeing storms rapidly develop and you're going to end up with a category 4 or 5 hurricane. So I'm not anticipating any major hurricanes in the near future. That is meaning the next 7 days. I don't anticipate any severe or hurricane or category or major hurricane at this point. Some of those guys may become, especially the one that's 91L could, let's say we got this guy here, 93L could, no, I know, yeah, we got 91L could is not. It could be our closest to a strong hurricane. So that's most likely going to be what's going to become a hurricane, but it's going to primarily stay out to sea and out over the Caribbean, or just to the north of the Caribbean and over the open waters of the Atlantic. So we're going to be dealing with that guy there. That'll be the only potential strong hurricane. Here we are with our severe weather outlook, and today we have that little area of we have a trough of low pressure here across the Central Plains, so that's going to be enough to spark some thunderstorms this afternoon, and some of those thunderstorms can be gusty, especially out ahead of those thunderstorms, so we can see some gusty winds and some heavy rain. So that's going to be the primary threat with that severe weather this afternoon. And we can see a couple of areas of severe weather across upstate New York and portions of northeastern Maine. We could see some severe weather, and that's going to also be heavy rain and some gusty winds as well. And that's mostly for the early half of the day, the morning and the early afternoon, and that'll be gone by late afternoon, and this evening we'll be seeing that clear on out the northwest, the northeast there. And we're going to see some thunderstorms possibly across portions of the northwest. We'll see those midwestern thunderstorms in the high plains of Colorado and New Mexico, and then across the southern plains of Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, down through lower Mississippi, Alabama, southern Georgia, the entire state of Florida, South Carolina, and extreme southeastern North Carolina, from Cape Hatteras down to the south. The potential for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, but not too much in the way for showers and storms for portions east of Texas through the deep south and along the southeast coast there, and in the state of Florida. Just some non-severe thunderstorms this afternoon, and not a whole lot that we're going to be looking at, but we'll be primarily seeing that heavy rain across southwestern Texas right here this afternoon. Tomorrow, no severe weather expected across the nation anywhere, and we're not really looking at a lot of rainfall across the Northeast, the Great Lakes, the northern tier of the nation, the West Coast. Maybe only down in portions of Arizona, New Mexico, and we could see a little area here through southern Colorado and north central New Mexico, state of Texas, southern Oklahoma, portions of southwestern Arkansas, southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, Alabama, southern half of Georgia, southeastern South Carolina, and Florida is the only areas where we can potentially see any rainfall. And again, we're going to see that heavy rainfall across southwestern Texas tomorrow, but we're going to be seeing a few showers and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast and in the state of Florida for your day on your Thursday there, on your Thursday. And here we are for your Friday. Now we're going to be seeing a weather system move across the northern tier of the nation that's currently going to be what's moving across from the Pacific Northwest. That's going to move quickly across the northern tier and race along the U.S. and Canadian border into the northern plains, the upper Mississippi River Valley, and into the Great Lakes for your Friday, where we can see some thunderstorms, but no severe weather is expected. So we're going to see thunderstorms extending from the Great Lakes southwest through the Midwest and through the southern plains into the state of Texas and portions of the Southwest, where we can see the monsoons kind of reignite again. Some more monsoons across the Southwest. So the monsoons will return briefly on Friday, and we'll see those thunderstorms across the state of Texas, down through the lower Mississippi Valley, the deep south, and the southern Appalachian Mountains, over toward the southeastern U.S., through the Carolinas, especially South Carolina, and through the state of Florida. But dry weather through the northeast, dry weather through the Pacific Northwest, and the northwestern half of the U.S. as well for your Friday. And here we are as we take a look at your weather forecast for the next 2 to 3 days. All right, so here we are as we are taking a look at our 500 millibar heights. So this is taking a look at all of the barometric pressure at the 500 millibar and our vorticity. So we're looking for all the spinning areas in the atmosphere. So we have this area right here off the Pacific Northwest. So that is going to eventually be moving on to the shore, the coastal areas of British Columbia, and it's going to go over the top of the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. And then we have this other piece of energy that's dropping down, moving over the top of our western ridge, and it's going to be dropping down through the Midwest. That we're going to be seeing that guy drop through the Midwest, through the northern plains and the upper Mississippi Valley, and into the Great Lakes. So eventually it's going to spread showers and thunderstorms through the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. Then we see our high pressure circulating over here over the Four Corners. So that is going to be bringing in some moisture from the southeast. So we're going to be seeing a little bit more of a return to the monsoons. As you can see, that high pressure dropping down from the Pacific Northwest and settling down back toward the Four Corners. So it's going to reinitiate that monsoon flow. So we're going to see a few more showers and thunderstorms across the desert Southwest, and also across the state of Texas. And we're seeing our tropical influence off in the Atlantic, so it's going to continue to bring in some moisture along the Gulf Coast, where we could be seeing some thunderstorms as well. Here is a look as we take a look at our geopotential heights. This is our barometric pressure, and what we're seeing our area of high pressure maintained over the western half of the United States. It's a high amplitude high, and you see troughing taking place at times through the central plains and eventually it moves into the northeast. So we're seeing our flow here that's coming down from the northwest, from Canada across the eastern half of the U.S. So that will help to keep temperatures nice and pleasant in the Northeast, the Great Lakes, and the upper Mississippi Valley. But we will see a little bit of a heat wave move to the east from the Pacific Northwest and into the northern plains as we move through the next couple of days. And we're going to continue to see that high pressure ridge in place, and we have this area of low pressure that is coming in from the Pacific Northwest that is going to move into northern Canada, and eventually we're going to see that energy round the top of the ridge and eventually drop down towards the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. So it's going to be another added feature that will at least help keep temperatures reasonable along the Northeast and in the Great Lakes and the upper Mississippi River Valley over the next several days. So that is a look at our geopotential heights. Here we are as we take a look at our maximum high temperatures this afternoon across, or at least for your this afternoon, and we're going to see much of the same for your day on your Thursday. So as we look at our temperatures for the next 24 hours, we're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 70s across the Northeast and in the Great Lakes. You see that lovely weather across Michigan through Ohio, as well as into Pennsylvania and New York, New England. Very light, lovely weather on the interior. A little bit warm along the coast. We're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 80s from Boston down through New York City and New Jersey and through the mid-Atlantic states. We're going to be kind of warm. You're going to be seeing it get into the mid and upper 80s down by the D.C. area. But we're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 90s along the southeast coast. So through Virginia, Carolinas, Georgia, down through Florida, we're still going to be seeing those temperatures in the 90s. And those 90s will continue across the Gulf Coast states. So through Alabama and Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas as well, we're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 90s, and we're going to be seeing warmer temperatures as well through portions of the upper Mississippi. It's going to warm up in Minnesota. We're going to be seeing those temperatures through the Mississippi Valley rise into the upper 80s and mid 90s. So you can see those 90s through Minnesota and the state of Iowa as well. So as we take a look at the West Coast through tomorrow, we're going to be seeing that hot weather in the Pacific Northwest. You see those temperatures in the 100 there. We got 100. We got 98 degrees in Spokane, which is right there, and we got those temperatures in the low 100s here in eastern Washington as well as in eastern Oregon. You see those temperatures 100, and we have those 107, 106 also near the border of Idaho. So the Idaho, Oregon, and Washington border areas, we're seeing that 106, 107 in the deserts there. So we're seeing a lot of heat, unusual heat for this region. So it's very hot there through the Pacific Northwest and also through the Central Valley of California. We're looking at those temperatures in the 110. So places like Fresno and Stockton, Modesto, Bakersfield, 107, 106, 111 for Modesto. So it's very hot. 100 in LA, heat wave in Southern California. We're looking at a temperature of 106 in LA, 102 at the Civic Center in Orange County, 106 in the Inland Empire. We're looking at San Diego is still going to be nice with a temperature of 89. It's going to be warm for San Diego, but we're really seeing that heat build in through the LA area and the Central Coast. In the Central Coast, we're looking at 111 degrees in Blythe, California, 109 at Yuma, 106 in Phoenix, 107 in Las Vegas, 95 in Tucson. So a little bit cooler across the Sonora Desert, but the Mojave Desert is very hot this afternoon, and we're seeing that hot weather across portions of Southern California. And we're looking at heat building in through the Central Plains, Nebraska, the Northern Plains, and the Dakotas. We're looking at those temperatures, 102 degrees in Omaha, so it's going to be hot across Nebraska as well through your Thursday tomorrow. So we're going to be looking at your temperatures for your Friday. So this is your Friday temperatures in the Northeast. You're seeing nice weather. We're seeing some 50s through portions of New England on your Friday. So much improving weather conditions. Cooler weather across portions of the Northeast. We're seeing those 70s through Maine, through upstate New York, 60s, upper 60s, lower 70s. But it starts to warm up as you get toward the Midwest. We're going to see the Midwest warm up over the next couple of days in the Great Lakes. There's a little bit of that ridging moves to the west. So we're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 80s through the state of Michigan and Wisconsin, and we're going to see those 90s through Minnesota, down through Iowa, Missouri as well. But we're going to be seeing 80s through Iowa, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. Maybe a 90 degree here and there, but we're going to be seeing the heat along the southeastern coast, those 90s through the southeast, the state of Florida, and along the Gulf Coast states. We're going to be seeing those temperatures in the 90s. But what's new about the 90s down there? So here we are as we take a look at the west for your Friday. A huge ridge of a heat dome will spread through the plain states. So we're talking temperatures in the low 100s through the Dakotas as well as into Nebraska. So we're going to be seeing heat across the northern plains as we move into your Friday. And we're going to still continue to see hot weather through the northwest and portions of Oregon and Washington and Idaho. We're going to be seeing those triple-digit temperatures, and that heat will continue across the southwest. Look at Southern California, LA, downtown LA, 104 degrees, 111 in Ventura. We are going to be seeing very hot weather. 106. It's going to be hotter in Ventura than it's going to be in Palm Springs. How does that even happen? You have that offshore flow, that ridge of high pressure across the Four Corners, but we will start to see some of those monsoons through the southwest, portions of this portion of Arizona above the Mogollon, the high elevations of Arizona, southeastern Arizona could see those monsoons again for your Thursday and Friday. But we're seeing the hot weather, 102 in Phoenix. It's going to be a little bit cooler in Phoenix because of the cloud cover and the potential for those afternoon monsoon thunderstorms. So that is a look at the temperatures for the next 2 or 3 days. Now let's talk about that rainfall. And here is that rainfall for the next 24 hours, and we're going to be seeing or at least through Friday. Here's our rainfall through Friday. So we could pick up a little bit of rain across the southwestern deserts of Arizona. Not a whole lot. Trace amounts to a few tenths of an inch. And again, in New Mexico, a few tenths of an inch. But portions of Texas, we could pick up an inch or more, as we see these quarter of an inch to a half an inch of rain over the next 48 hours, respectively. But you see some areas 93 1/100ths of an inch. So that's 9/10ths of an inch of rain. That's the Fort Worth and Dallas area right there. We could potentially see that heavy rain across the state of Texas over the next 48 hours. And here we are as we take a look at the eastern half of the nation. Again, we're seeing our heavy rain area. You got this is Oklahoma here. This is Muskogee, Oklahoma, down here in the southeastern corner. Muskogee, Oklahoma could potentially pick up 83 1/100ths of an inch. So we're talking about a good 3/4 of an inch or more across portions of Arizona, Oklahoma, there with that potential for thunderstorms. Here we are, Little Rock, Arkansas could pick up 3/4 of an inch, and we can also see a half an inch or more in portions of southern Georgia as well, and through North Florida where we could pick up a little bit of rainfall. So we got a lot of areas with the potential to pick up a quarter to a half inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. It's pretty widespread, and a few areas across Texas could pick up an inch of rain or more. So definitely some issues where flooding could be concerned. Some urban and small stream flooding across the state of Texas is going to be possible through Thursday and Friday and this afternoon. All right, so here we're going to take a closer look at Texas because I have some concerns about excessive rainfall. So Texas, we have some locations, north central Texas here. This is Dallas, Fort Worth, down to Austin and San Antonio. So the I-35 corridor through the state of Texas, we have some folks, we could pick up an inch in a quarter of rain, an inch of rain. This is the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Down here is Austin, Waco. You got folks that can pick up an inch and a half, just about an inch and a half of rain there between Austin and San Antonio can pick up over an inch and a half. And over here in the southwestern corner of Texas here, southeast of El Paso through Sanderson, Alpine. I know my Texas now. So you can pick up an inch and a half, 1.3, 1.4 inches of rain, respectively. This is the I-10 corridor. This is where I-10 comes into the state of Texas. You can pick up a good inch and a quarter of rain and 1.5 inches of rain, respectively. A nice, respectable amount of rain is possible along the Gulf Coast as well, the Houston area, Pasadena, over the Beaumont. We're talking Del Rio. Now, Del Rio is way down to the south. You could pick up a few tenths of an inch, about a tenth to a quarter of an inch. But we're looking at about a third inch, maybe a half inch down along the South Texas, Corpus Christi, Galveston. Those areas could pick up a good quarter to a half an inch of rain, respectively, through Friday. So that is a look at our rainfall, and that is our 2-day weather forecast. So we're going to be seeing a lot of rain along the Gulf Coast, but it's not going to be excessive. But some parts of Texas could pick up a little bit, an inch and a half at the most part. But we could see some flooding, maybe some flash flooding along some of the smaller creeks and paths and rivers down there across South Texas. So that is a look at the weather forecast that I have for you guys for the next couple of days. I had to set up a little bit different because Mr. G is dealing with a little vertigo today, so I didn't want to stand because if it might be a longer video, start getting dizzy and you might pass out. So I'm sitting down in the chair today, and I got the microphone out and had to readjust today. But this might what we're gonna take a gander at doing because Mr. G sometimes get tired of standing up there, and then I need to see things on the screen. And when I stand back, I can't see my screens, even though I have gigantic monitors. But you see, I have my bifocals on, Mr. G blind, so I need to be able to sit close to the monitors. But we might have to do it like this so I can read things that are on the screen. So that is your weather forecast for today. Thanks for watching me, guys. I'll try to be back tomorrow. I can't promise every day because I am back in school, and so I'm doing schoolwork, and going to be having a change in my work hours and work schedules coming up. So it's going to make getting daily videos a little bit more challenging, but we'll still try to get something out for you guys. They might be shorter during the week, and you'll get the nice longer ones on the weekends. How about that? Is that okay for you guys? All right, let me know. Leave your likes, comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. All right, guys. Bye-bye.